Once upon a time, in a world filled with magic and mayhem, there lived a powerful demon named Amon. Amon was a fearsome creature with sharp horns, glowing red eyes, and skin like charred leather. He ruled over the underworld with an iron fist, tormenting the souls of the dead and stealing their life energy to maintain his own power. The only thing that gave him more pleasure than causing pain was watching mortals cower in fear before his might. One day, Amon decided to take a break from his usual routine of wreaking havoc and decided to pay a visit to the mortal realm. He strolled through the streets of a nearby village, enjoying the sight of people dropping to their knees and begging for mercy. But suddenly he stopped in his tracks. He had never seen such a pathetic sight before. In the center of the village square stood a young man, no older than 20, arms outstretched as if embracing the heavens. But it wasn't just any young man. It was the legendary hero Orion, known throughout the land for his bravery and righteousness. Orion was not afraid of Amon. Instead, he looked up at the demon with unwavering determination, as if ready to challenge him to a battle of wits or strength. Amon couldn't believe his eyes. He had expected fear, maybe even anger, but certainly not this. He had never seen anyone so unafraid, so defiant in the face of his overwhelming power. Intrigued, Amon decided to test the hero's courage. With a wave of his hand, he unleashed a torrent of dark energy towards Orion, who stood firm and raised his hands to meet the attack. The energy hit Orion's palms and exploded, sending shockwaves of power through the ground. But Orion didn't budge. He stood his ground, absorbing the full force of the attack without a single sign of weakness. Amon was stunned. He had never seen anything like this before. Usually when he attacked someone with his full strength, they would either be completely obliterated or reduced to a pile of ashes. But Orion was still standing, albeit with singed eyebrows and a slightly charred beard. Asmon tried to think of another way to defeat the hero. Orion took a step forward, then another. And with each step, Asmon could feel his own power ebbing away. It was as if Orion's mere presence was draining the very essence of his being. Panicked, Amon unleashed every ounce of strength he had left into a final desperate attack. But Orion simply stood there and absorbed it all, his eyes blazing with an otherworldly light. When the attack was finished, Orion opened his mouth and spoke in a voice that boomed with divine authority. "I am Orion, champion of the gods, slayer of demons, and I have come to banish you back to the underworld from whence you came." Asmon trembled before him, his body racked with fear, for in that moment he knew that he was no match for this mortal. With a final surge of power, Orion banished Amon back to the underworld, sealing the gates of the mortal realm against him. As Amon disappeared back into the depths of the underworld, the villagers erupted in cheers, hailing Orion as their savior. But Orion knew that he had done nothing more than what was required of him. He was just a simple hero doing his duty. And so he spent the rest of his days traveling the land, helping those in need and vanquishing evil wherever he found it, always unafraid, always determined, forever the champion of the gods. Once upon a time, in a world where gods and demons roamed freely among humans, there lived a young woman named Elara. Elara lived in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake. She was known throughout the land for her kindness and compassion. One day, while walking through the forest, Elara stumbled upon a wounded bird. She carefully picked it up and took it home to nurse it back to health. And as she cared for the bird, she felt a strange sense of connection with it. She named it Phoenix. As the days passed, Elara noticed that the bird was no ordinary creature. It had scales instead of feathers, sharp claws, and a tail that forked like a snake's. One day, the bird transformed before her very eyes into a magnificent dragon, its scales shimmering in all the colors of the rainbow. The dragon, whose name was Ignis, told Elara that he was a messenger from the gods and that she had been chosen to be the champion of the celestial realm. Together, Elara and Ignis soared through the skies, battling evil demons and bringing hope to those who had lost it. Through it all, Elara remained humble, never forgetting the values of kindness and compassion that had been instilled in her since childhood. And so she became known as the Celestial Maiden, a beacon of light in a world shrouded in darkness.